Let's all stand up and let's sing. Gonna sing like the same. Woo! We're gonna sing like the same. Yeah! We're gonna sing like the same. We're gonna sing like the same. Come on! La 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 la. 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 Let's dance, come on. We're gonna dance like the same. 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 Come on! La 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 la. 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 All right, we'll see you all up there. Here we go. We're gonna jump like the same. 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 La 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 la. 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 All right, this is the most important one. Sing it. Come on. We're gonna live like the same. Yeah. We're gonna live like the same. We're gonna live like the same. We're gonna live like the same. Come on. La 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 la. 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 Keep it going, come on. La 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 la. 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 All right, here at MCPtv, we not only sing silly songs, but we play fun games. Let's hear it from Mr. Landon, Mr. Jeffrey, and Miss Grace. Take it away.
And we're back. Welcome to another episode of MCPtv.
It's dripping.
I look a little funny right now. I look like a walrus. Mr. Jeff looks like a walrus who's lost a... I just lost one too. There it goes.
Welcome to the club.
MCPtv in your living room. I'm Mr. Landon.
I'm Miss Grace.
And I'm Mr. Jeff.
And we're going to play a game that involves me and Mr. Jeff being uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, we are. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
His mic fell into the water.
Mike fell. Is that okay?
Juice jokes.
Okay.
The way that we're going to play this game is I am going to read a joke, and Mr. Landon and Mr. Jeff are going to try not to laugh.
I'm already laughing.
But
so
the way-
it's a bad start.
The way it's going to work is they are going to put the two straws in their nostrils while they are
Oh, it hurts.
soaked in juice.
Okay.
And the first one to blow bubbles from their laughter of my jokes loses.
It tickles your nose. I don't like it.
Yeah. The
All
ultimate
right.
try not to laugh challenge. Ready? All right, prepare the nostrils. And Mr. Jeff, you're already losing. Ready? Joke number one. What do you call a pig that does karate? Pork chops. Nothing.
He snuffed.
Mr. Jeff! Mr. Jeff!
He snuffed.
Mr.
That made
Jeff!
Mr. Jeff
Not off
snuff.
to a good start.
No, not at all.
It went down my sleeve.
Ay, ay, ay. Pork chops.
Yeah.
Pork chops. Funny.
Yeah.
Ready? Score is currently Mr. Landon 1, Mr. Jeff 0. Number 2. Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants? Mr. Jeff, I haven't even said the punchline yet.
Not off to a good start on this. Okay, ready.
In case he got a hole in one. There you go. Mr. Landon? Nothing. Mr. Jeff, look at all those bubbles. Oh, Mr. Jeff, did you get some juice up your
I
nostrils?
did. I sucked up. Oh man.
Mr. Jeff, juice doesn't taste good through the
It
nostril.
does. It does not taste good.
Or from a microphone.
No.
Oh. All right. Current score is. Oh, Mr. Landon, get it out. Wow.
Remember, don't touch your face during this time of quarantine.
Just like Mr. Landon did. All right.
Just touched it multiple times.
Current score sounds familiar. Mr. Landon 2, Mr. Jeff 0.
All right.
Number 3. What did the policeman say to his belly button? You're under a vest. Oh no! They both blew bubbles.
He blew first.
No, you lose when you blow bubbles, Mr. Landon. You
That's my goal now.
He blew first.
There's juice everywhere.
There's juice everywhere.
Juice everywhere.
Making a mess, I'll tell ya.
My nose tickles.
All
right, ready?
There? Okay.
Current score is still Mr. Landon 2, Mr. Jeff 0 since they tied and died on that last round. Ready? Number 4. What do you call an alligator detective? Did you just lose before I said it, Mr. Landon?
That's the joke. If he makes bubbles, he doesn't get a point.
An investigator.
Do it. Do it.
I'm good.
Do it. No!
I got a point. I did it.
Mr. Landon lost that round. He didn't even make it to where I said the answer.
She made me snuff.
Schnuff. All right. Mr. Jeff,
Okay.
you got a point.
I got a point. I did it.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Okay, ready? Mr. Landon 2, Mr. Jeff 1.
Put that in New Life
Next.
News.
It's a big day.
It's a big headline. Mr. Jeff scores a point. Breaking news. Next joke. How do you tell if a vampire is sick? See if he is coughing.
No, it wasn't good.
Wasn't funny, but I did hold my breath for a really long time.
COFFIN.
I lost my breath kind of like Doc Betos last week.
Oh yeah, he struggled. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I did.
You survived.
I did it. Does that mean I get another point?
No.
I didn't snuff either.
So we both get points, right?
3-1.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so Mr. Landon has 3, Mr. Jeff has 2.
Hey, making a
Great.
comeback.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship. Hey, good job.
Ready?
Good job.
Next joke. Prepare the nostrils, please, Mr. Landon. Whenever you're ready. Get them all ready to go. What do you call a factory that sells good products? A satisfactory. Oh, Mr. Jeff! Look at all those bubbles.
I didn't even see it. I just heard it.
I just heard it.
I just
They're
heard
pretty
it.
loud.
I heard the
They were
bubbles
some
over
loud
there.
bubbles, I'll tell you.
Oh, shoot the bubbles.
The bubbles. All right, Mr. Landon has 4. Mr. Jeff has 2. Not too far behind.
Not too bad.
There's still 3 questions left, so you could come back.
Come back. We can do this. We can do this.
No laughter.
Yeah.
Ready?
Laughing's not fun.
Next question.
Laughter.
Are nostrils prepared? Looks like they are.
Oh, nope. Okay, noted.
Ready?
Jeff, you're so nosy.
How do rabbits travel? By airplanes. Jeff, don't do it. No! Don't do it. Oh. I know I'm funny, but like, I'm asking you not to laugh.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Did Jeff lose?
He did.
I did.
Mr. Landon now has 5. Mr. Jeff has 3. But there are
That's
2
not
questions.
score.
These are my favorite jokes.
It's not 5 to 3.
Yeah, it is.
Did he just snuff again?
Yeah.
I should be up 3. I was just up 2.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
Oh,
5-3.
I'm sorry. I
Grace
said
is trying to
5-3.
sneak in some points again, like she did last week. Watch the
It's
film.
5.
It's all
It's
there.
5 to 2.
Oh!
All right, our next joke
Is Jeff's winning streak?
is
You're not allowed to make jokes. Not fair.
what did the tomato say to the other tomato during a race? Catch up!
That's a bubble. That's a bubble.
Mr. Landon, did you bubble? Oh, he's bubbling. Wow, those were some consistent
Come back.
bubbles.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I
That
thought
made
it
me
was
laugh.
funny.
That made me laugh.
Catch up.
Come back.
It's funny.
It was funny. It was funny.
Our current score
That was
win.
good.
is 5 to 3. Unfortunately, there's only one question left.
No.
Should we make this last question worth 3 points so that Mr. Jeff can win?
Absolutely not.
Okay, let's do it. This last question is worth
Let's
3
go.
points. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. How do you stop a bull from charging? Cancel its credit card. Jeff.
So I won by 4. Yeah.
No, just give me that last one was only worth 1 point.
I won by 4.
No.
8 to 4.
No,
no.
Double
Mr.
to
Jeff.
My nose
This
feels
corn
funny.
out
I'm
of
gonna be
my
honest.
fist.
Juice jokes defeated Mr.
This
Jeff.
vitamin water is delicious, but not when it's up your nose.
It was fun to watch, I'll
Oh.
tell you.
And the touch of sulfur. The sulfur was a good touch.
Oh yeah, the sulfur really
Ooh,
just
yeah,
ties it all
yeah.
together.
For
Mr.
sure.
Jeff, do you want to take a drink with me?
Oh,
Through the straw?
Toast. Yeah, toast.
Toast.
To Miss Grace.
Wow.
I am so honored.
Not good. Just
Yeah.
gonna be honest.
10 out of 10
Tastes
would
good.
not do again.
Nope. But normally it's delicious.
It's great with mini corn dogs. Feels good to be back on top after that debacle that happened last
Hey,
Friday. I can't
hey,
believe you guys
at least-
voted for Mr.
At least
Jeff.
I got my win on Friday.
Yeah,
So shout out
yeah.
to my fans.
Yeah.
I see that you guys are out there.
Yeah, but hey, I'm back in the win column, so that feels good. Can't complain about that. Okay.
What is this?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, and thank you. Oh,
Those glasses are disproportionate to his face.
Yeah.
oh
Very
thank
small
you,
glasses.
Thank you. Thank you, too, for having me. So excited to be here. So excited
Lena,
to be
did
here.
you invite him? Oh. Who are
Hello?
you?
You guys are too much like you don't know who I am.
I don't. That help.
Nope.
Wow. Well,
are you?
okay. I'll play along. Well, I am the Honorable Hank Honorman, the latest mayoral candidate for New Life Ranch's mayor. Your honor, I'm here for you, to give you the honor of having me as your mayor.
What an honor that would be.
Yeah, huge honor.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
I
for sure.
didn't realize New Life had a mayor position.
Yeah.
For
Mayor.
years, for many, many years, dating way, way back. How old is this place?
62 years.
Yes, 62 years we've had a mayor. There you go.
You didn't seem confident in that answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know New Life Ranch had a mayor position.
Oh,
Are
yes,
Mayor.
you sure in the right place?
Is this New Life Ranch, Colcord, Oklahoma, Adair, Oklahoma?
Yes.
Well, then I'm at the
This-
right place. You guys are too much. I tell you what. Let me just get right into my resume and show you guys why I am the candidate for the mayor of New Life Ranch.
Yeah,
you guys
sure.
okay with that?
Yeah, I'm open to learn. I'm open to learn.
Yeah, I'll listen.
All right. Well, first off, I grew up in a family with 7 kids, a large family. And let me ask you as a quick question. Guess how many of those 7 kids went to and graduated from college?
All 7?
All 7 of them?
Nope, only one. And I'm proud to say that she is doing great things out there in the world. It's a real honor to have her as my sister.
So it wasn't you?
No, it was my sister. It was my sister.
okay.
But after that, I decided, I don't want to be just another statistic out there. I want to be somebody that gives to the world, is a productive member of society. So you know what I did? I set out to be a social media influencer.
Wow.
Yes.
That's just what we need is another
I
social
agree.
media influencer.
I agree. I agree. Very important role. A very important
Very
role.
important.
Yes.
How is that going for you?
Oh, it's going very well in certain demographics.
Certain demographics.
Yes.
So,
Explain.
Well, specifically one demographic. Specifically
Okay.
one.
What's that
What
demographic?
demographic?
Nursing home residents down in Pottawatomie County, Oklahoma.
Pottawatomie.
Yes, ever since I did my Facebook for the Golden Oldie presentation down there at Everlasting Acres, those people have been fans for me. I had to show them right there how to take that mouse and click on like on my page, but they have stayed with me. They don't comment very much. I'm not even sure they log on, but they're there.
Pottawatomie. He must be lying to me.
Pottawatomie
okay.
County. Yep.
I mean,
and from there,
it's interesting.
I used that influence to go ahead and then to start my own business.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right.
I like an upstart man that's working hard. Okay.
Exactly who doesn't?
That's right.
Oh, goodness. So at the age of 18, I'd already been through a few of those hourly labor jobs, and I decided right then and there, I was above that. I didn't need to work for anybody else. I needed to be my own boss.
Yeah.
You guys can
That's
understand.
fair.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I knew
I get
that only I could bring certain things to the table, and I set out to do a wonderful thing. So I started my own company.
Awesome.
Okay.
How'd that go?
Well, it went really well. I mean, there's some things that we couldn't ever quite figure out why we're turning more profit. But again, I'm very proud of it.
So wait, what company is it?
Okay, are you familiar with eBay.com?
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't
Started
that. We
eBay.
started a company called Rebay. And Rebay had two things going for it. There was things you could do. And so first, if you bought something on eBay and you decided that you needed to return it, you put it on our site and you rebate it. And then also you could list anything that had to do with Reba McEntire.
Okay.
Rebay.
Interesting.
So,
I mean, it's creative.
yeah.
Like we need creativity at camp.
I haven't started my own company before, so
Yeah?
he went for it.
So what ideas do you have to make NLR better?
Oh, let's not get into that yet. I'm going to be here all week. Thank you guys so much for the invite. Today, I just wanted to go ahead and share a little bit about why I am qualified to be the next mayor of New Life Ranch.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Remember, I'm here for you, to give you the honor of having me as your mayor.
Interesting. Okay. I mean,
Thanks, Hank.
yeah. All right. Well, yeah. We'll see what he has for us tomorrow.
Hey,
And
Hank's a little weird.
very weird. Very
But
weird.
yeah, we'll
but
give him
I'm
a
also
chance.
intrigued. You know.
Yeah,
He might be able to do some good things for New Life.
All right, guys. Now that we just got to hear from Honorable Hank, we're going to send it to worship and word. Going to get to do a worship song and hear from Miss Beth with word. Thank you.
We were so blind, hopeless and dead in our sin. But you shined a light into us and we see again. Jesus, you give us hope where none could be found. There is none like you, by grace we are alive. That's how we are designed. Lay down the shame we own and take up what is Christ. Your grace has made us free. By faith we have received the cross and your blood made a way for me. The cross and your blood made a way for me. By grace we are alive. Your grace has given us new hope. Now we can stand. Healing the broken between us was always your plan. You showed us your kindness, new mercies every day. Lord, we give you praise. By grace we are alive. That's how we are designed. shame we own and take what is Christ. By grace has made us free. By faith we have received. The cross and your blood made a way for me. The cross and your blood made a way for me. By grace we are alive. I once was dead in sin, now I'm alive again. I cannot boast of anything. I am your handiwork, I am your masterpiece. You have great plans for me. I once was dead in sin, now I'm alive again. I cannot boast of anything. I am your handiwork, I am your masterpiece. You have great plans for me. By grace we are alive. That's how we are designed. Lay down the shame we own and take up what is Christ. Your grace has made us free. By faith we have received. The cross and your blood made a way for me. The cross and your blood made a way for me. By grace we are alive.
And we are going to dive into the Word. Now, last week during Word Time, we talked about our theme from last summer camp, By Design, which came from Ephesians 2, 8 through 10. This week, we're going to jump into some stories from the Word that are about waiting. Now, I'm sure many of you have experienced waiting in your life, whether that was waiting for a present you hoped for, or waiting to find out if you got on a team or made it a play, or if you were just waiting for someone to get better. We've all experienced waiting, and right now we're experiencing waiting with this pandemic and social distancing and life just being not like normal. And so our hope is that this week, as we look at these stories of waiting from the Bible, that we're going to learn from them and be able to apply that to our situation of waiting right now. So grab your Bibles and let's dive in. If you'd open to Genesis, remember last week, we started right at the beginning. It's right in the beginning of your Bible, and we're going to be in chapter 12. Now, in chapter 11, before we get to the chapter we're focusing on, we meet a man named Abram. And in chapter 12, we come to a point where God is speaking to Abram, and he says, "The Lord had said to Abram, 'Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you.'" So Abram went, as the Lord asked him to. And at age 75, with no kids, he takes his wife and all his household and his nephew Lot, and he goes to wherever God calls him to. And here we see that God promised him that he would have kids, that he would have these offspring that would become a great nation, that would be a blessing to the people. But as we read in the text, God didn't give him what he had promised right away. Actually, a couple of years pass, and in those years, he goes into a famine. The land around him goes into a famine, and he has to move to a different country. So he leaves where God led him to, and he ends up engaging in war to get his nephew back, who had been captured. All these things happen, and still the promise that God had promised him hadn't come true yet. And then we see God show up again in chapter 15, and he says, "The word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. 'Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward.' But Abram said, 'Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless, and the one who will inherit my estate
is Eleazar of Damascus. You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my heir." Then the word of the Lord came to him. "This man will not be your heir, but a son who is of your own flesh and blood will be your heir." He took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them." Then he said to him, "So shall be your offspring." I don't know if you've ever had to wait several years for something, but I get why Abram was confused. He hears this promise from God, and then year after year pass, and still his wife isn't pregnant. And so I get that he was confused and he was impatient. But God comes in this point and he says, "Abram, I'm going to give you what I promised you." And he actually makes a covenant with him, which means that he made a promise, like a really big promise, that if God broke that promise, there would be really hard and bad consequences for him. And so he does this to Abram to prove, I am really serious about this promise. I'm going to give you kids. Now, do you think that God gave Abram a child at this point? Actually, he didn't. You would think, all right, God's made him wait long enough. But in chapter 16, we find that 10 years have passed from that original promise. And Abram and his wife Sarai are getting impatient. And they get so impatient that Sarai comes up with a plot, a scheme, a way to have kids other than just the way that they normally happen. And here's our first lesson that we learn from Abram and Sarai. When God has promised you something, when we're waiting for something, and we feel really confident that God has promised this or led us to this or asked us to wait for something, if we take things into our own hands to try to get it before God gives it to us, only heartbreak and hurt come from those moments. And a couple years after Abram and Sarai try to take this into their own hands, God shows up once again. And he actually reaffirms the promise, you will have a kid, and gives them new names, Abraham and Sarah, in order to kind of solidify, I have chosen you. I have chosen you. Let me give you new names. And then at that point, he ends up saying, you're going to end up having a kid within the year. It's going to happen this year. Now, how do you think they reacted? If they'd been waiting this long and they finally heard from God that it was going to happen within a year, you'd think they'd be really excited, right? Well, actually, Sarah laughs. Now, I don't want to be considered a person that would laugh at something that God has said to me, but I get where she's coming from. She's waited 19 years for this thing that's been promised. And then all of a sudden, God comes and says it's going to happen this year. I think I would have a hard time believing that too, and I probably would have laughed. But despite Sarah's unbelief and her disbelief in that moment, guess what happened within a year? They got a baby boy. They had a baby. 20 years after the promise had come to them, they finally had a baby boy. And so, what do we learn from this story of waiting? 1, our timing is not God's timing. 2, God is faithful. He keeps his promises. And 3, one of the most important things we can do while we're waiting is to daily have talks with God and to be patient. All right, word time has come to a close for today, but we will be back tomorrow. For right now, we're going to sing that MCP song. Take it away, guys.
All right, everybody, let's stand up and let's sing that song. MORNINGCAMPParty. Morning camp party is so cool. Yeehaw! We sing silly songs and play fun games. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. If you're crazy about a Ford, give a shout out to the Lord. Morning camp party.
we sing.